We got the 18-year-old Raul Rosas Jr. He comes in reinvigorated, and a lot of people are saying they gave Terrance Mitchell Rosas Jr. specifically so they can get the hype train back going for him. I think that's the wrong approach to take, and I think that there's one major discrepancy I have in this matchup, and I have to be upfront about it. I like the talent of Rosas. I think that he can get the takedown in this fight. I think he can get the submission in this fight. The big problem that I see here for Raul Rosas Jr. is after a performance like he had in his last one against Christian Rodriguez, legit jiu-jitsu guy right there, he opened as a minus 500 favorite. AJ, if I look at the live odds right now, minus 800 favorite with a plus 550 comeback for Terrance Mitchell. They're showing no love to Terrance Mitchell here. And like I said, I think they lined this up strategically. But can you have that much confidence in Rosas Jr. given that it's pretty much grappling or bust? He put out like under 10 strikes in his last fight. What do you think?
I don't have that much confidence around Rosas Jr., Derek, especially that minus 800. That's wild, especially for somebody who, it's his third fight in the UFC. I'm looking over here at it. Yeah, man, this dude is what most people would call untested. Yes, he's young. He's 18. He has a bravado. He has all the stuff going into this. But this is a different stage, man. And yeah, he's competed in it multiple times, but still to that point, he's still young. He still makes the young mistakes. And we saw in his last fight against Christian Rodriguez, he was prone to making those mistakes. He was prone to falling into the traps that young fighters do. We've all been there. You fall into the things that are comfortable for you, and the older guys know how to exploit that. For this fight right here, I can see why people are thinking this is a gimme fight or a get back on the hype train kind of fight for Raul Rosas. But if he's going in there thinking that Terrance Mitchell is a dog, unfortunately in his last performance against Cameron Simon, not the best display. And I don't expect him to be shooting like he did against Simon, against Rosas. I do expect him to be using the length, using the size, using the speed that Terrance Mitchell presents in order to get things done. Do you think he's going to be as effective as he possibly can be in that aspect, Derek, of maintaining the range, keeping the distance, or is just the speed of Rosas too much?
I think that Terrance Mitchell is going to show a different performance given that it's not a short notice fight. He had a full training camp on this one. He had already even mentioned, he was like, I was working like at my job, my sales job, when they called me for the opportunity. Like it wasn't the right timing, but I had to take the opportunity. Now I get to show a full display of my skill set. Only problem is, even though 33-year-old man looks strong as hell, if you even seen some of those grappling exchanges versus Cameron Simon, like he was using pure strength to be able to negate some of that stuff. Only problem is he has length, does not use it particularly well in past experience. Big 5-year layoff in the midst of his MMA career. A lot of his exposure has come in from like the Alaskan MMA scene, which shout out. You have the Jared Cannoniers and you have the Lauren Murphys of the world out there in Alaska at one point at least. But I just think that Raul Rosas, when you look at him and you look at his ability to go forward and to grab you. And he even had Christian Rodriguez's back, man. He got to the spot we wanted him to be in. He just couldn't finish. I don't know if Terrance Mitchell has the same chops to be able to stop the finish from happening. Because if you know what's going to happen, you just have to be able to not actually get finished. Do you have confidence that that can happen? If Raul Rosas takes Terrance Mitchell's back, is the fight over?
100%, Derek, and that's what I think the UFC is hoping for, at least planning for. If all the stars line up in UFC, which we know it never does, that's what the UFC is looking for, man. That submission from Raul Rosas, the pressure he's going to have. If everything works out, I'm expecting like a round one kind of dominant victory, and I can imagine that's what the UFC hopes for too. That's why it's my prop lock, Derek, at that minus 160 odds. It makes the most sense. This is the best way for Raul Rosas to actually get in, get the job done, and get him back to the kind of stardom he's projected to be at. That being said, when you know it's what's going to happen, you have so many opportunities to defend it, to get prepared for it, to actually visualize what's going on, and then counteract it. It does give me a little bit of worry because, like you said, man, in Raul Rosas' last fight, 10 strikes output. He's going to have to work a lot harder than that to actually get into the place, unless he just, runs at it from the jump and really gets something going. I think Terrance Mitchell might be able to avoid that, but we'll see, Derek. Do you see a lot of value in that plus or in that minus 160 like I do?
Well, just to be clear, when you got the prop lock, it actually lowered down to minus 115. So you're getting a little better juice on that one. And I actually have to revise that statement. We keep saying 10 strikes for Raul Rosas. It was actually 2. He landed 2 strikes in that fight. So not boding very well. But the point is right here, AJ, I do see value in the submission. Like I said, I think that's how he gets it done, especially given the lack of striking. If he goes out there and tries to prove he's some great striker, that's when we have problems here. And that's why I have to give full transparency. Yes. Do I like Raul Rosas here? Am I betting on Raul Rosas? Yes. I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you I'm not going to drop just like a quick 10, 15 bucks on Terrance Mitchell at plus 550 odds. This is a 33-year-old grown man. Come on. This is an 18-year-old versus a 33-year-old. I'm not going to say nothing because Jay Perrin, he got choked out by Rosas, so anything can happen. He was a grown man too. But I just think that if Rosas feels him and he's like, oh, Mitchell's a little bit stronger than I thought, we could have some problems. Either way, realistically, I like Raul Rosas. First round finish. Terrance Mitchell, he's been all of his fights, pretty much of his last 10, only 2 of them have gone longer than the first round. So just take that into consideration. Rock with El Nino Problema, Raul Rosas Jr. All right, AJ, let's